In Britain, a London police officer has been sentenced to life in prison for the kidnap, rape and murder of a young woman. Megan Patterson reports.
Sarah Everard was a 33-year-old marketing executive from South London. On the 3rd of March 2021, her deeply tragic assault and murder occurred when she was walking home from a friend's house. Sarah was stopped by Metropolitan Police Officer Wayne Cousins, who informed her she was being arrested on the grounds of breaching COVID-19 regulations. He drove her from South London to rural Kent in a car that he had rented, before performing non-consensual sexual acts on her and murdering her via strangulation. He then left her in a nearby body of water. Cousins was arrested on the 9th of March, followed shortly by the discovery of Sarah's body a week later after her disappearance on the 10th of March 2021. This shocking event caused shockwaves through the world, and particularly the media. The fact that a young woman was innocently walking home and a police officer, someone who we're told is here to protect us, used his power and authority to assist him in this horrific crime was a very difficult concept for the public to wrap their heads around. As a result, Sarah's story was on every news article and every social media platform. Protests began occurring all over the UK to raise awareness about Sarah's story and take back our freedom as women.
Enough is enough! 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 Stop murdering us!
And a vigil was held to mourn Sarah and celebrate her life. Many people, both men and women, began sharing their stories and using the hashtag #MeToo tag with the aim of opening people's eyes to the reality of both the justice system and the dangers of doing everyday tasks as a woman. The movement raised awareness on the topic of sexual harassment and assault. It gave people the confidence to open up about their experience and made them feel less alone. Do you feel that sexual harassment has been taken more seriously since the tragic murder of Sarah Everard?
I'm kind of in a catch-22 situation because, for a while, it was the buzz thing in the news. It was the next best story, and then it all of a sudden just dwindled off and died off. And I don't really think it's been taken that seriously.
I would say that yes, it has. There's a lot more awareness these days about sexual harassment, especially since the case. It's being publicised a lot more online. People, all ages, all shapes, sizes, colours are all aware of sexual harassment within women, where they can go to for help, etc.
In your opinion, how has the media represented the reality of sexual harassment?
I mean, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, all over social media, you will see statistics, you'll see quotes, you'll see dates, times of other women that have been sexually harassed. There's all sorts of information and awareness online, as well as resources where you can go to for help.
But I think it does come down to what you were wearing, were you drinking, who are you with, sort of thing, which is really sad. I took myself off social media, I took myself off TikTok especially, because with the For You page you don't know what you're getting. It's quite hit and miss, and I just thought it's not great for my mental health just to be surrounded, and I kind of think the media were scaremongering as well.
Why do you think there's a culture of victim blaming?
I feel like victim blaming is more of men or an offender guilt tripping, in my perspective.
Because of the misogynistic and sexist values.
I think that victim blaming is just a way to push the spotlight away from the abusers and onto the person who has been abused. It's a vile thing for men and women to do to literally anyone that's been in a sexual harassment circumstance before, but sadly it is something that is out there.
And I think that'll still be the same in 20, maybe 50 years time. I don't think it will change. It's 2022, and since society began, it's been very sexist.
Why do you think people are so quick to dismiss victims of sex crimes?
I think people will dismiss a lot of victims with their claims As some people will think it's for attention seeking and lying, some people just don't believe that person, some people are aware of the situation but don't want light spread on what has happened because they don't want their partner or their family member, friend, etc. to be exposed, and they're scared of it, so they turn to that.
9 times out of 10 it's, oh, she's had too much to drink, oh, she asked for it, look what she's wearing.
Do you feel differently about the justice system now that you're aware of who was responsible for Sarah's murder?
But I think it's the same as most girls my age. Like, we were thinking, Christ, that could have been one of us, that could have been the neighbour down the road, or that could have been me, it could have been anyone. Because he wasn't looking for a specific someone, he was looking for a victim. And society tells you to trust police officers. It's fine, it's a police officer. He showed her his badge. She felt safe enough, she trusted him enough to get in that car with him. I don't think anyone, any female, anyone who knows a female and has moral conscience felt safe for their female counterparts during that time.
The justice system is a difficult one to touch on, as there's so many different laws and regulations that we aren't even aware of, and if some people do their research you can easily find all of this information available, but a lot of people are quick to target the police and the justice system that they're not doing their job when really they are legally doing the best that they can. I'm sure that they could push a little bit harder to give women justice, because there are many cases that go to the police who aren't heard and who aren't helped and who have to be pushed away because there's physically nothing that they can do, when in actuality they should figure out ways where there should be more to help.
If you feel comfortable elaborating, feel no obligation to speak on it. Have you witnessed or experienced an event of sexual harassment in a workplace or a professional environment or an educational
A
environment?
workplace I have, yeah. I mean, a few years ago when I was working for a company, I won't name any names, one of my managers would always suggest us to wear leggings, shorts, tight clothes, things that may reveal your figure a bit. And as uncomfortable as it made me, I agreed. I thought that was just their uniform policy. It was comfortable and I didn't think anything of it. A few weeks later, I'd always get looks from him. He'd always make comments to me, not even just me, other women. And this isn't even just in that one workplace, this happens everywhere, where uniforms are made, decisions are made, and people won't feel comfortable in their own skin. People won't want to come to work. You'll see your managers looking at you and other employees looking at you, giving you looks, talking about you, and it does make you very uncomfortable. And sadly, I've seen a lot more sexual harassment situations than I would like to admit.
Did you report this behaviour?
That behaviour I didn't report, no. Other behaviours I have actually reported, yes.
I went home from a work experience thing and I got wolf whistled at. Myself, 2 other girls and a guy, and we were all carrying equipment. We were all wearing like jeans, joggers, t-shirts, jumpers, you know, the usual sort of stuff. We were all wearing our student lanyards. It was very normal. And we got wolf whistled at. And the first time we walked past the group, we thought, oh, what are they doing? It's not us, they're like mucking around. The second time we did it, we were all like, what the actual hell? And it just was so unnerving, and it made me so angry and so sick that they think they have the right to do that.
Do you think that schools and educational environments overlook the negative behaviour of their students?
I feel like schools do somewhat of a good job on awareness of you can't treat men and women in derogatory ways. There are certain things you can and can't say, but at the same time, women should be able to come to school and wear clothes that they are comfortable wearing. It shouldn't matter if their elbows are exposed. It shouldn't matter if their hair's blue. It shouldn't matter if they've got a bit of metal in their lip. It shouldn't matter if a man wants to wear a dress. Whatever a person is comfortable wearing should always be taken into account first, and their students' behaviour that are targeting these people for wearing what they are comfortable wearing, they're the problem, not the people wearing what they're comfortable in their own skin.
So
I think that's more of an Americanised thing. I've never been told. My school, we sort of had like sort of halfway down the knee, sort of dark blue kind of like skirts. They weren't like my local secondary school used to have before they changed it. These like pencil skirts, which everyone ruled up.
I've got one more question. Do you know of anybody who has reported an event of harassment or even assault and it's gone somewhere? So whoever they reported to has taken action to get them some form of justice.
I know famous cases, but I don't know a single personal friend or anyone that I'm aware of that has gone to the police and successfully got the justice that they deserved and were looking for. I only know famous cases of women or men that have achieved some justice throughout the system, but I know more women that have not.